I guess we're live. I wanted to do a quick live video. This is going out to YouTube, Facebook group, the WP Crafter Facebook page, as well as Twitter. You can leave comments, live comments. I will actually get them coming across. The only ones I will not see, unfortunately, are comments that are left in the Facebook group. For some reason, these live streaming softwares do not pull comments from the Facebook groups, unfortunately. But I see a bunch of comments coming in here on YouTube already. You can ask me any kind of question that you want. I'll have some time to answer any question that any of you guys might have. And happy Good Friday. There's a lot to be grateful for and happy about. Today is Good Friday. Right now it's about almost 4 p.m. So I don't know how many of you folks are going to make it onto this impromptu live stream. But I did want to do a quick live stream to let you know kind of the content I have planned for next week. I'm kind of excited about it. So if you saw my video last week about how to set up a sales funnel, some tools for setting up funnels on your website, I made a announcement that I was going to be putting out a whole tutorial video on how to set up a sales funnel website. Well, it's been about 10 days already and there's no video. So that video is coming out on Monday. But what I'm doing is something a little different for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. There's parts to this video that it might just be better to be on its own. And so what I'm going to do is on Monday, there's going to be a video on how to set up a funnel website. On Tuesday, there'll be a video on how to add drop shipping to your sales funnel website or for any WooCommerce website, how to add drop shipping with AliExpress. So that should be fun. And then on Wednesday, I'll probably have the video then about adding a membership area to your website, but also in the context of this sales funnel website. And then I'll have a video on Thursday about adding a affiliate program. So if you want to add an affiliate program, there's two great plugins. One is free, one costs a little bit of money. How to add an affiliate program to your website. So I'll have a separate video on that. And there was one more area. I just can't believe the other one. Let's see here. Sorry about that. My computer. There we go. So on Friday, I forget what that video is going to be. I have my nice list. One of them will be on how to add a learning management system to your website as well. So I have this breakdown of separate videos that are going to come out, but Monday will be the one about having a sales funnel website. I'm pretty excited. Kind of goes with some kind of a content plan that I've been formulating in my head to have kind of a theme each week and have a series of videos to kind of cover all the area for that theme. So if I did say an SEO week, we would talk about on-page SEO, SEO tools, we would talk about SEO plugins, all that kind of good stuff right there. And there's actually some things I want to revisit with regards to SEO with that plugin called Rank Math that has come out. Okay, so that's all that I wanted to shoot this live stream out, but I've got some comments here. So I've got YouTube ones coming in. Let me see. I don't see anything coming in from Facebook, and that's okay. Most of what goes on with WP Crafter is on YouTube anyway. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you're leaving a comment in the Facebook group, those questions and comments aren't being pulled in, but I'll jump in the WP Crafter Facebook group and answer those. So I'm going to scroll through here and see if there's any questions. I have not, I'm going to actually try to throw these questions up on the screen. So let's see here. I'm going to go back from the bottom and work my way up. Let's see here. Happy Easter, everyone. Yes, it's an odd time to have a live stream, right? Because it's Good Friday, then we're kind of in holiday mode, and we got an Easter coming up in a few days. I know for me, I'll be with my family on Easter. It's always a good time. Okay, Gil says, I have a question, so maybe you answered it up. Okay, you can feel free to ask me any question that you guys might have. Lots going on with WordPress and lots of fun stuff going on lately. Okay. Oh, here's an interesting question. So let's see if I can get it on the screen. Let's see. Nope, that's not the question. Let's see here. I haven't done this in a while. Let's see. Send. Okay, send. That's what I need to do. There we go. That worked. I can actually make the design of this much better, and I will get around to that. So, Gil, let's see. Is this the right question? That was actually not the right question from that I wanted to show. Let's see here. It was this one right here, send. Okay, there we go. Happy Friday. What was the biggest challenge that you overcame when starting the YouTube channel? I thought this might be a fun question to answer. The hard part about having a YouTube channel in the beginning is you're creating content, even when you have a website, right? Maybe you have a blog portion to your website, or you're just starting a website. It's just trying to figure out how the heck to get any kind of traction, and it's a big challenge, and it can be harder when it comes to video content because it takes a little bit more effort to create a video, and it could be very discouraging. You put this video on YouTube and you might get in a day like 5 people watch it, and so you're like, I put all that effort in for not much to happen. I'll tell you though, for me, I never really threw up any videos on YouTube with a big master plan of having it, anything happen with it. There was no real intent. It was, hey, this is a fun thing, activity. I can make a video, I can put it up. And I wasn't even thinking that anyone would watch any of the videos. And then I looked at it a year later and I'm like, oh my gosh, people are actually watching these. I never even looked at the analytics. And that's when I thought, man, I need to, there might be something here. But what ended up happening was the big challenge right now with having a YouTube channel, and a lot of creators on YouTube are feeling this pressure to upload good quality content on a consistent basis. There's this pressure, and you have some of the real high level YouTubers that have millions of subscribers. They feel this pressure to put out some content. And I'll be honest, I feel it too. And I guarantee any of the other YouTube related channels, those guys are feeling it as well. This pressure to have an idea for content and to create it. And I actually deal with that regularly. So that's the biggest challenge now, and I can't say that I've overcome it at all. Let's see. So let's see here. I'm going to go through some of these questions. Okay, here's an interesting one right here. And is asking, can you create a complete course on LearnDash? The answer to this question is yes. So any of you guys familiar with learning management systems or have thought about having an online course on your website, LearnDash is probably the most widely known, widely used for sure, and the most reputable. And they have a new version coming out, version 3 of LearnDash. They've been dropping hints about it in their Facebook group. And I actually have a beta copy of it. I can't really talk about it much, what is in there, but I'm waiting for version 3 of LearnDash to come out before I really go and invest in tutorials, because a lot of the visual elements of it have changed. I can say if you're a current LearnDash user, you're going to be very happy with this new update. If you're wanting to create an online course website, you might want to wait until you see what version 3 of LearnDash has to offer, because that might affect which direction you decide to go in. Okay. Yes, Greg here saying, I didn't expect to spend Friday night on YouTube watching WordPress videos. Yeah, this will be a quick one, but it's actually not Friday night. It's only 4 p.m. here, so it's plenty of sunshine outside for me where I am. If you guys don't know, I'm in Southern California, and the weather's kind of crazy. 77 degrees out. That's actually good weather. So we got folks here from Amsterdam, and okay, here is just a comment. The sales funnel video would be great. I'm looking forward to making that. Obviously, part of the reason I'm making it is because I created the product that is enabling you to do this. Let's see here. Okay, here's an interesting question. What live streaming are you using? I'm using, and I did a video on this a week or two ago. I'm using Restream. So I use a live streaming software on my computer called Vmix, and it pushes it to Restream, and then Restream puts it on all kinds of locations. So right now this is hitting 2 spots on Facebook, Twitter, and it's hitting YouTube all simultaneously using Restream. There's a really good deal on it on AppSumo right now. You just go to WPCrafter.com/Restream. It's like $50 for a lifetime account. I like it. Yes, Valley Hi Toyota. I am certainly using Restream right now, but Restream's not going to give you this quality video that you're seeing. I'm doing that through this Vmix application that I have, and obviously I have a nice camera and stuff like that. Let's see. Okay, so here's a question. Am I using a Logitech camera? No, Logitech camera will not give you quality like this. I use a very expensive DSLR, but you don't have to use an expensive DSLR. You can use a more affordable one. The DSLR I'm using is what's called a full frame camera, so it's very expensive. It's like $2,200. And I feed that into my computer, but they have DSLRs that are like $700, but you need maybe a little bit bigger of a space or a little bit better of a lens. I'm in a real tiny room. I should measure it just so you guys see how tiny the room is that I do everything in. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, here's another question about the live stream. I'm using a live stream software. If you're on a PC, check out Vmix. It's kind of pricey and there's more affordable options. If you're on a PC, on a Mac, check out, actually, no. If you want to get into live streaming, you're on a budget, look at OBS, which is 100% free, or look at Streamlabs, which is a fork of OBS, but a prettier wrapper. Okay, here's a question about card flows from Louis, or Luis, depending on where you are. If you're in the US, I might say Louis, but I don't think you're in the US, right? You are in Central America? I might be wrong. Maybe you are here. So Luis, Adam, using card flows, how can we manage pricing? It's difficult to add this selling website design businesses, and how do you set up pricing? So it's basically a question about how do you price selling marketing funnels or sales funnels to clients. And part of the challenge is a client, oddly enough, most people don't even know what a funnel is. I learned that the hard way last year when launching the product. I just assumed that people knew what that was, and widely people don't know what that is. So first you'd have to just explain the value of having a funnel on your website, whether it be to generate leads or to sell things. So first you would need to explain the value for someone to see the value that's there. If it's an e-commerce site, it's actually really an easy, I would personally sell it as a monthly fee, because basically what you're doing is you're saying, store owner, you get X amount of traffic per month that produces X amount of sales per month. We add this. Potentially, this is how much more your sales will go up with the order bump. This is how much your sales potentially might go up with an upsell and a downsell. And we do this and we build this out right, which potentially could add this much to your overall average transaction value or sales in a month. So when you look at the numbers like that, then you could do what's called value-based pricing. So if you're basically estimate that their sales will go up by, say, $10,000 per month, well, maybe that sales funnel might be worth $500 a month for you to manage for them, or more, because it makes sense at the end of the day if they're going to make $10,000 more in sales. So I would do value-based pricing if it was me. Okay. Here's actually a really interesting question, and it's, are there any plugins for image editing, such as Photoshop, to edit and resize an image, but inside of WordPress? So to get more editing in WordPress. Now, WordPress natively allows you to do resizing and cropping. I should do a video on it because it's not so obvious. you know how to accomplish that. Now, there are plugins that do more in there. I don't usually use them. There's some that can add like saturation or different effects. I just would prefer to do that outside of WordPress, even though there's a convenience to it in there. But WordPress by default allows you to crop and resize very easily. I should do a video on that. As a matter of fact, I'll make a note on that, maybe slip that in next week or this weekend even. Okay, yes, California. Okay, here's an interesting question about adding a membership. What membership plugin would I recommend for LearnDash or just any website? So if you're selling anything with WooCommerce, I would get one of the membership plugins that integrate with WooCommerce as well. That's what I would do. LearnDash doesn't need a membership plugin. If you're just selling the courses and you're not trying to protect your WordPress pages, you don't even need a membership plugin with it. So I would recommend if you there are a bunch of membership plugins. There's also a free one called Paid Membership Pro, and they had, I didn't like version 2. I think it was version 2 or version 1. Anyways, they came out with a brand new version of it and it was updated. They updated a lot of user interface elements, and it's actually really good, and it's 100% free. So that's kind of the one I like. Right there, right now. Let's see. Oh, okay, here's a really good one. Sadie is saying, personally, you don't value YouTube channels that drop videos constantly because a lot of it is just content stuffing. It's quantity over quality. Yes, there's definitely something to say for having quality over quantity as well. Here's Kyle. Actually, Kyle he's suggesting OBS. So that stands for Open Broadcast Something. OBS is what he uses to do his live streams, and he does a lot of live streams where he pulls in multiple people into the live stream live with video. And once you wrap your head around OBS, is a little bit more technical, a little bit more of a learning curve. It's super valuable. It's most of the streamers actually use OBS. So let's see. Oh, here's an interesting question. How many plugins that you've made that are in the WordPress plugin directory? Honestly, I've never made any plugins. And here's my confession, my great confession, but most of you guys actually already know this stuff. I'm not a developer, and I'm be the first person to say this. That's why on the channel you see me talking about using page builders and using a page builder. Well, page builder is not really a developer coder type of tool. So I'm not a developer at all. However, there are probably about 5 different plugins in the WordPress repository that are there because I made it happen, is maybe a better way of saying it, where I basically mapped out the whole feature set, exactly how it should look, exactly how it should work. And I went to someone and I said, let's make this. And then it got made. So that's how my involvement typically is. Okay. Okay, Luis. So it would be Luis, right? Luis is saying he's actually from Chile, but you live in Spain. You live in Spain right now. Let's see. Oh, here's an interesting one from Woman in the Zone. Do you use WP Dev products? I don't, and I have a very low opinion of them. However, and it's not just me. It's not just me being harsh. There's like an overall general low opinion of the quality. And so there's that comment a little while ago about quality versus quantity. So WP Dev, when they started, they were doing quantity over quality, and that kind of business model is a failed business model now with WordPress as WordPress has evolved. So they've actually evolved, and I gotta give them a little bit of credit, right? So they used to have a large quantity of plugins. They're thinning that down and instead trying to make the ones they have be higher quality. And they have fantastic branding, very recognizable branding. So I have to dig in and start using them again. But overall, historically, the WP Dev products have been kind of poor quality. but I think they've turned it around. I probably wouldn't use a WPMU Dev product that my business would depend on. This would be where you need to have one where there's a huge expertise behind it. And an example of that is if you wanted a learning management plugin, they have one, but it's sort of a Me Too thing. Like, oh, these guys have it, let me make one too, but they're not experts in that. And so they're just trying to fill up the amount of plugins that you get without being an expert. In that case, I'd rather go and get the one where they're an expert at that particular thing. It's kind of like when you go out to eat, right? You go out to eat, there's those restaurants that really just specialize in the one thing, like a steakhouse. And they specialize in steak and they make the best steak. And then there's those restaurants that serve everything under the sun, but none of it's really that fantastic. So to answer this question, no, I don't really recommend their membership or course, definitely not their CoursePress plugin. I have not come across anyone who's successfully implemented that. So I wouldn't recommend it at all. Let's see here. Yes, John is saying AppSumo launched a great lifetime Restream.io deal this week. Yep, and I'm using it right now. This will be my third live stream using Restream. It's a really good deal. Let's see here. And I even have like a little lower third right there with it. Yeah, that's pretty cool with the link. So yes, the Restream deal is pretty sweet. I like it, and I'm using it as well. Okay, here's actually a great question about what security plugin would I suggest? And it's actually a tough one right now because there's security plugins that do just your basic security on your website, and then there's ones that are proactively monitoring threats that are going on and dynamically protecting you from it. And that type of feature is always found in a paid one. So you're going to get that out of a paid WordFence, a paid security. But I'll tell you right now, what I'm using is Malcare. Malcare isn't like that. They're not dynamically protecting you from that. They do constantly scan your website for any kind of infections, and they will alert you and fix it for you if it happens. So I think nothing kind of replaces, though, in that regards, having a really high quality host that's on top of their stuff. If you have a good host that's on top of it, they're going to be proactive with the security as well. So I did put a video out today on the 18 best free WordPress plugins, and I talked about 2 security plugins. One was WordFence and one was iThemes. And it's also important to note that security plugins will slow down your website to a certain degree. So, okay. Oh, here's a great question. Hey, Adam, when will Gutenberg templates be added to cart flows? And do you think Gutenberg will be a challenge for page builders like Elementor? Yeah, we are actively working on that. We're waiting on Gutenberg to mature a little bit, but we'd like to make everything we're doing native to Gutenberg and Gutenberg blocks, so it'd be all visual. But here's going to be a great thing if this happens, and Beaver Builder's pushing for this to happen for your Gutenberg blocks, and now you can get a Gutenberg block for anything. For Gutenberg blocks to natively work inside of page builders. So it'd be perfect for Beaver Builder, right? All those Gutenberg blocks that will just work in Beaver Builder, almost try to make it look native. So now the builder can just focus on providing a great building experience and feature set, but they don't have to focus on the modules. If that happens, we go all in with Gutenberg for sure. Gutenberg is going to be a challenge. Right now, if you try to build out, say, a home page in Gutenberg, you can do something basic and it'll look very nice. But it's the minute you want to do something else, like have a drop shadow or just certain things like that, or maybe a more complex row and column structure, it starts to get a little tedious. Hopefully, the long-term vision will be to kind of move Gutenberg to be more of a page building-like experience. I like Gutenberg, though, for writing blog posts. Oh my gosh, it's so much nicer to me to have that clean canvas there and to build out a blog post. I think it's going to be a serious threat. I think I made a video on it last year where what's going to happen is say you have 100 people that want to build a website. Well, Gutenberg's probably going to be perfectly enough for about 90 of those 100 people. And so the other 10% of the people are going to probably want a page builder, a more full-featured one like an Elementor, Beaver Builder. And there's only so many of those customers to go around. So my prediction was Elementor is still going to do fine because they don't have lifetime accounts. If you ever built a site with Elementor, you got to renew and get that update. Same thing with Beaver Builder, but Divi I'm a little scared for because if you got a lifetime account, there's no way for Divi to make additional, more renewal revenue. Okay. If I didn't answer your question, actually, let's see. I have a record of the questions. I don't have the best tool for monitoring the comments to make sure that I get to every single one. So I'm sorry about that if I missed your comment. I know a couple of you are saying, can you answer the question that I asked? I'll try to scroll back down through it. Okay, here's an interesting question is how do you deal with a slow website while Updrafts Plus is updating? So the backup plugin I like to use is Updrafts. It's free. You can back up offsite to Dropbox or other locations. I go to Dropbox. So, but what happens is when it's running and doing its backup, when any backup plugin is doing its backup, there's a slight performance impact on your website. I use the paid version of Updraft so you can set when that backup happens. So I do it when it's least likely that someone's on my website, the lowest traffic points. And also I have I have a lot of resources for my website, meaning it can back up and you wouldn't even notice it. And I've got some caching going on and stuff like that. So someone wouldn't even notice it. So I would suggest having some kind of performance in place, such as WP Rocket or one of the free caching plugins in the WordPress repository, or something, a performance-based plugin. So what happens is when someone comes to your website, the website is loaded from a cached version, so there's not stuff that needs to happen in the back end, so they wouldn't feel any kind of slowness. Let's see. Yeah, so here's an interesting question. It's if I use a page builder like Breezy and I want to do multiple sites, do I have to install WordPress and Breezy on each site? Yeah, absolutely. You do install WordPress for each site, not each page, obviously. One website can have unlimited pages, but for each website, you'll need to install WordPress and you'll need to install whatever suite of plugins that you're using. Oh, here's interesting. I'm looking for toolset tutorials. Any advice? You know, Toolset's constantly changing. They just released in beta, a bunch of Gutenberg blocks, native Gutenberg blocks for everything. It's constantly changing. I don't really have many tutorials on my website, and there's not a lot of tutorials out there. They must have a lot of customers, but maybe they just don't have customers that are making tutorials. So, and there's other tools out there outside of Toolset to make custom post types, custom fields, and to display them. So I should, knock something out like that one day, and I'll definitely add it to the list of things that I should get going. Okay, Richard here is asking about the Breezy. I'd like to know about the Breezy question. So I think I just answered a Breezy question unless I skipped it. I made a video this week about something called Breezy Cloud. It's a new sort of thing for Breezy page builder users. It's called Breezy Cloud. It's really cool. It's part of the Pro plugin. And if you didn't check out the video, a lot of people watched it, almost 6,000 views on it. And it essentially, if you're using the Pro version of Breezy, you get this private template cloud. They're building it right now, a private template cloud, where if you save a block, and you have Breezy on 5 websites, if you save it and you go to another website, it's going to be available for you dynamically. Same thing for page templates. And you can also host landing pages on their platform. It's really interesting. You should definitely check that out. Okay, let's see here. Ken's got a great question. Okay, Ken is saying, do I still recommend the use of child themes? If not, how do I keep theme updates from breaking a site? Can all modifications go into, it's only pulling in that, sorry if it got cut off. having a child theme is really optional because there's a lot of things that you can do. For example, the WordPress customizer has a spot to put custom CSS. Before, you'd have to have a child theme for that, but now you can do it in the customizer. And then for custom functions, I really like this code snippets plugin. It's free, and you can put your functions, you can organize them, export them, and all that. And those are the two main things someone would use a child theme for. Now, there's also template overrides and stuff like that, which very few people actually do. I happen to do it, so I use a child theme. But if you aren't overriding core template files, you can get away without having a child theme and just put your CSS in the customizer and use code snippets, which is a really sweet plugin anyway. Okay. Let's see. Do you have any cart flows discounts? Well, maybe if you, for the coupon field, if you enter WP Crafter, one word, maybe something will be there. Let's see. Oh, here's a great question. I like background questions. If you want to know what goes on here at WP Crafter, ask. I'll answer. Are you a one-man show? Or do you have someone who helps you with design and editing? So I have been... Staying just a one-man show actually hurts your business, and I really came to grips with this last year. Having it just be me is a big mistake. So if you've noticed, some of the designs are changing if you go on my Facebook group, you'll see me throwing up some designs I'm working on, rebranding and all of that. I do have a full-time designer, and I have a couple other full-timers. I might do an editor. I've been wanting to do an editor. And I very well might do an editor here in the future to not because I can't edit it myself. I can edit it fine myself, and it would probably take more time to have an editor do it. But I'd like to send it to an editor for them to spend time making the video look better, like maybe having some motion graphics at certain points so it'll kind of spruce up the quality of a video, make it more engaging. Let's see here. Yes, right here, WPCrafter.com/Restream to get the restreaming platform. $49 for a lifetime account. You can't beat it. Oh, here's an interesting question. So we're talking about some lifetime deals, and that's cool. What's your opinion on Git Scrum's lifetime deal? Git, I keep saying grit. Git Scrum is a project management app, kind of like a Trello board, and there's some terminology is escaping my mind, but basically it's like a professional version of Trello. Let's just call it like that. So I think it's good. I don't like the user interface of it. They could really work on that, but you can't complain. The deal is a really good deal. It's very good value, and a lot of people are really loving it. I tried it out. I didn't like the user interface. I didn't like that there wasn't a mobile app, but these are all things that they can change and fix. I still think it's a very good value. I chose to go with ClickUp. I made a video about project management apps, and I talked about 5 or 6 different ones. The one I chose to go through is ClickUp, ClickUp.com. They have free plans, and I chose a paid plan. Let's see. Okay, yeah, here's a clarification. Luis is asking, what was that with Divi and Gutenberg? I was basically just my little commentary opinion that Gutenberg's going to take users and customers away from page builders. It's inevitable. But their only concern I had for Divi is because they have that lifetime pricing. So Divi's business keeps rolling because they keep selling lifetime licenses. And they have annual licenses as well. But the thing is when you sell a lifetime license and you need to keep selling lifetime licenses to make money, well, what happens when the people that are buying it starts to shrink? You make a lot less money and you don't have any renewal revenue. So it could be a challenge. I'm not saying that will happen. I wish Divi well. The only thing I'm excited for the future of Divi is I'd like them to release their theme builder finally. So you can do headers, footers, the theme builder features that you're seeing in Beaver Themer and Elementor, these theme builder type features. I would love to see that. They're kind of taking a long time to do that. I don't think it's entirely their fault, though. I think it's partially because Gutenberg came out and they had to refactor everything for Gutenberg, and that slowed them down. That'd be my guess. Hey Matt, you're asking how I'm making this video. My live streaming app allows me, it'll pull in these comments like this. I'm not using Restream for that. It'll allow me to display them on the screen. I'm gonna get my graphic designer to make this kind of showing the question on the screen look better. But for now we have this, it's all built into Vmix. I've mentioned it a bunch of times. I don't recommend Vmix for everybody. If you're a serious live streamer, do it. I use Vmix as well to record my videos. So when you see me going in and out in the circle in the bottom right and all that kind of stuff, that's being done in Vmix. And I have shared this secret in a video, my Restream video. I use one of these. It's called the Stream Deck. This thing is the bomb. Has 15 buttons, and you can program these buttons to do things. And so it'll work with live streaming software. So I can push a button. Here, actually, I'll do that right now. I have to take this off. So I just pushed a button, it puts me in the middle. I push a button, it puts me on the side. I push a button and it pops this up. And there's a green screen behind me. And then I can push a button and it does the circle thing, puts me out, puts me bound down here in the bottom, and I can move myself all over the stinking place. But I need to be right here for these comments. That's a Stream Deck, but you can use a Stream Deck for so many things. It is awesome. Everyone should have a Stream Deck. Okay, this is interesting. Let's talk about this. Adam, and this is from WP Tonics, probably Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan. Recently, there seems to be a lot of security problems with WordPress. Have you got any views on this and why this has happened? Yes. Okay, so this is some like really weird kind of stuff going on with WordPress right now. There's a hacking group that's upset with how some things happen on WordPress.org with regards to plugins and things like that. So this hacking group this week said until WordPress.org changes how they do these things, and there's some weird policies as well on WordPress.org, and until they change it, we're going to find these plugin vulnerabilities and we're just going to release them to the public with information on how to exploit them. And so that's kind of what's happening. So normally you have security researchers, they find a problem with a plugin, then they contact the plugin developer and they say, can you fix it? Here's the problem. And then they respond, an update comes out and you didn't even know what happened. Instead, you have these people finding out security vulnerabilities, writing up on how to exploit it and saying, here it is, and putting that info out on the internet, and developers are having not enough time to respond or react. This happened to me with social warfare, unfortunately, which I removed off all of my websites. It's kind of a really weird thing going on. It's not being talked about much, but if you follow any kind of WordPress news, you know about this from this week. It's kind of like a real funny thing that's going on. Here's the thing. Everything is on the internet. If you put something on the internet, it's going to be hackable. Heck, you have things that are not on the internet that are hackable. About 2 years ago, we have these department stores called Target in the United States, and there's probably Targets in other countries. These hackers hacked the little credit card machines. So I don't know if you've noticed that all credit cards now have these chips. That was because hackers hacked all of Target's credit card machines, and now we have these chips. Every credit card in America was replaced with ones with these digital chips. These could probably be hacked too. And Outlook.com, email hosting, they were hacked recently as well. So everybody's been hacked, get hacked. Even you think this, I'm going to use Squarespace or Wix, guarantee they're hackable, or they have been hacked, or maybe something happened, they didn't disclose it. So anything on the internet is definitely hackable. So I'm not so concerned about it personally. I just try to stay on top of it, be careful what I put on my website, and resist the temptation to just try a bunch of things from unreputable developers where they don't have kind of a track record or reputation. There's not any updates that happen to the plugin, things of that nature. Let's see here. let's see. Yeah, Alexander is saying, do I recommend the Astra theme and Elementor page builder? Or that's my favorite combination. Really, there's lots of options there. You know, there's a lot of people that they just love Ocean WP or they love GeneratePress, and all three of those themes are great themes. Elementor or Beaver Builder, those are great. Divi, those are all great. So, you know, my personal preference is the Astra theme and Elementor page builder, but GeneratePress is fantastic. Ocean WP, a lot of people love it. You know, and these are all, you know, really good tools. I have specific reasons why I like specific tools, and that applies to me, but it might not apply to everybody. Right now, I really like Elementor. It comes with a theme builder, it comes with a pop-up builder. You know, I really like that, you know, and the modules that come with it, I really like that as well. So, and I like that Elementor has a free version that most of the users actually use the free version, and it's perfectly fine. And they can do everything. Here's an interesting question. Hey, Adam, any good solution to manage hundreds of WordPress websites? Bought main WP on my recommendation, but it has conflicts with Elementor. Okay, so if, I'm assuming it said conflicts with Elementor. Hey, if that's the case, I would reach out to main WP to get them in touch with Elementor to get resolved. I would say having hundreds of websites in main WP is probably a lot for them. I wouldn't say split it up into multiple main WP instances, but I would say that having hundreds of websites in main WP might be like the most really high number. Probably most of the users that use main WP are at 50 or under. Personally, I think the most I had in main WP was probably 28 websites, and it was fine at 28. So I'm not saying it couldn't handle more. There are paid options as well to handle stuff like this. There's managed WP, but with hundreds of websites, managed WP is going to get quite expensive. Let's see here. I think I'm losing my place in the comments. Maybe I can't keep up. Maybe I'm going too slow. Let's see here. Okay, let me find out where I left off. Child themes, Breezy. Let's see here. Okay, I think I'm catching. There we go. Okay, here's a great question. Adam, what's the Facebook group? I think it's facebook.com/groups/WPCrafter. If you go to facebook.com/WPCrafter, it takes you to the WP Crafter Facebook page, and then there's a community tab there, and that should take you to the group. So both of those ways should get you there. I'm interacting in there. A lot of people are interacting. There's like 15,000 people, but you really only have maybe 80% of that are looking in there, and you might only have like hundreds of people that are commenting and helping each other out. It's a great community, and I've been posting like lots of information in there recently. It's a great group. Oh yeah, here's cool. I should bring some color to the background. Yeah, I don't know. What should I do with the background? I've been sticking with this kind of background. It's a lot like what's on a YouTube channel. I forget the name of the YouTube channel. Unbox Therapy, I think. He has kind of a background looking like this. His is real though. This is just an image. But I can... Having a green screen is a big pain in the rear end, but you could do some fun things. So when I was pushing through the buttons a second ago and I'm bouncing all over the place and the background's gone, that's kind of fun, but it's a pain in the butt to pull off having a green screen. I would say my green screen quality, you know, from the edging, it's hard because I have a bald head. It's probably like a 7 out of 10, but I see the problems. But if you look at my video and you look at the edge of my head, you can see it's a little fuzzy. So I don't love it. You're just kidding. Here's your follow-up. You're just kidding. No, I want to do more fun stuff, but I tend to be conservative. I'm always wearing the same black shirt. Not the same black shirt. A black shirt. I've got like a dozen of them. Okay. Let's see. Here's a question from Kat. I bought the lifetime Breezy deal after the last vid. Can I use Elementor now, then Breezy on the same page later? Whatever you create in one page builder, you can't move into another one, so you just have to recreate it in Breezy later for sure. Yeah, you can do that. Start with Elementor and then switch to Breezy when you're ready. Let's see. Okay, I am actually going to wrap this up. Oh, here's a good one. Let's hope ClickUp will come to AppSumo. That would be cool if ClickUp came to AppSumo. That's the project management app that I'm using, and it's pretty good. A lot of people are liking ClickUp. There's a lot to it, though. I don't recommend it for everyone. There's lots of options and things of that nature, but it's good if you're in a collaborative environment and you have people on your team, or you bring in a contractor and you want to all talk about certain things. Oh, Timothy, fantastic question. Timothy's saying, and I'm 8 minutes behind on these questions. How do you make your WordPress website go faster? I have a whole video coming out on that. Lots of different things you can do to make it go faster. Usually the biggest thing is people don't have good hosting. So that's the first thing, but it's not always a hosting issue. The second thing is usually maybe there's like images that aren't optimized and they're way too big. If you watch the video I had out today on, there was some image optimization plugin recommendations in there. The next one is caching. So if you have a good host, like a managed WordPress host, they might be doing the caching for you and you don't have to worry about it. But if you're not, you'll need your own kind of a caching solution. I have a love-hate relationship with caching plugins, but I will say I'm using WP Rocket right now and it's working out fantastic. There's a couple intricacies on that I want to cover in the video. And there's also free options as well. That's a paid solution. There's also free solutions. Another big one is asset plugins. So it's hard to explain. Every time someone visits every page on your website loads certain files, CSS files, JavaScript files, images, things of that nature. So you might add a plugin. Say you add a contact form 7. It's a contact form plugin, and you have a form on your contact page only. Well, when someone visits your homepage, contact form 7, a couple files from contact form 7 load for some reason. And they do that on every single plugin. So they have tools, performance plugins, that will show you on each page every asset that loads. And you can say, I don't want this loading. I don't have contact form 7. I don't want it loading except on that contact page. And it will allow you to do that. I use a paid plugin for that called Perf Matters, I think. I'm going to do a video on it. That's what I've been using. It's so easy to use. And there's also a free option. It's not as easy to use. You could tell a developer made this and it's just not so friendly to use, but it's free. So there's different options for that. I'm going to make a tutorial on that so people understand this concept. And they can choose to use a free tool or a paid tool for it. That is a big thing right there. Okay. Daniel saying he had some issues with Elementor recently. Ask your host to increase the memory allocated to your web hosting account. Here we have Sabina asking a great question. Sabina, if I pronounce anyone's name wrong, I'm sorry. Can I hire you to do a product demo? And how much do I charge? You know what? I am the worst product demo guy. If you've been on this channel, I'm really good at figuring something out and making a natural conversational video. They're all conversational. I'm horrible at having a script and reading a script and trying to make a video off a script. I do those horrible. All my videos, they have to be conversational like this. So it doesn't really make for a great product kind of demo for a website where you want it scripted and stuff like that. I'm just better at natural conversation, and I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. Heck, if I could find someone that's good at a product demo like that where it's very efficient, I'd like to hire them for cart flows. But I've never done a paid video. I've been asked to do a video, offered money. Some guy emailed me the other day, hey, I want to give you $1,000 to make this video and all that kind of stuff. And I've never taken a penny to make a video. I usually make videos about things that I'm genuinely excited about myself. And that enthusiasm you might see in a video is 100% natural. And I've never taken any money to do anything. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just haven't done that. Okay. Here's an interesting question. Hey, do you have Elementor Pro? Hey, do you have Elementor Pro? And would pay over and over every year? I think Alex is asking, do you have to pay to renew Elementor Pro every year? Or maybe what happens when you don't? With Elementor Pro and most plugins, when you stop paying, you don't renew, you lose access to updates and support. If they deliver anything via the cloud, you're going to lose access to that. In Elementor's case, you lose access to their cloud templates. Now, here's a big problem with Elementor and plugins that do it this way. And the same, I'll just have to be in transparency, say my product cart flows. So when there's a product that has a free version and the paid version kind of gets added on, you see this with AstroTheme, GeneratePress, Ocean WP, where you have the product and the paid product goes along with it, and you stop paying for that paid product. What happens is the versions start to get out of sync. So there'll be an update to the free version, but the paid version's not getting updates anymore. And as soon as something can happen is they get out of sync so much that the paid version that you had, even though it was working, it's not working anymore. That can happen. That does happen. So you almost got to kind of, if you're going to stop paying, I would freeze the free version of Elementor and not update that anymore either. That can definitely happen. Okay. Oh, you guys are answering each other. I think that's awesome. You're talking about GoDaddy. Don't use GoDaddy. Yes, GoDaddy and HostGator, any of those hosts that aren't giving you good resources. You know, I've been testing some of the lower priced hosting companies, like the shared hosting companies, and I really can't get away from SiteGround. I was testing all these companies for their support. I was seeing how long does it take for me to get a support rep. When I click on support, how long am I waiting on live chat? And I just couldn't get away from the fact that SiteGround consistently has the fastest to respond to you support. I mean, like they must have more staff on support, or they might be better staffed and they can get through things quicker. And you just can't get away from how good their support is. Not that I'm trying to. Let's see. Okay. Mario Mateo is saying, isn't Elementor free? There's a free and a paid version. A lot of these tools have a free and paid version, but the free version of Elementor, that might be all that a lot of people need. And I think most people are using the free version. This is actually interesting. One of the plans in phase 2 of Gutenberg is to make the block library within Gutenberg. So what this is saying is the plan for Gutenberg is to have blocks be modular. So you aren't going to get these big block packs. You'll have individual blocks. And so if you're writing and you say, okay, I need a table of contents block, you can actually search for a table of content block from within the Gutenberg editor, find one, install it, and start using it all instantaneously, so it'd be more modular. We'll see if they pull that off. Let's see. All right. Mario Mateo, it's live, but I'm 9 minutes behind on questions. So if you're asking me a question, I'm 9 minutes behind. So I'm seeing everything that was 9 minutes ago. Here's great. Do you use WP Rocket and Perf Matters concurrently? Yes, that's exactly what I'm using. Besides Rocket, Perf Magic, and Perf Matters and Imagify, anything else to boost speed and performance? Nope. That is my stack right there. WP Rocket, Perf Matters, and Imagify. I'm going to get a coupon soon for Perf Matters when I do a video on it. It's very affordable. When I show you what you can do with this thing, it's really good. It's really good. They've really made an easy to use plugin. So let's see here. All right. Okay, good. Now I'm on, let's see. I'm actually going to jump. I'm going to wrap this up, but I'm going to answer a few more of the most recent questions. Oh, Bob, great question. What did you replace social warfare with? The Elementor module for social media icons. That's it. Okay. Yeah, social warfare was patched, but it has a history of being very buggy. If you look at their updates over the last 6 months. They've caused so many problems with so many websites. That's why I didn't want to stick with it. Oh yeah, here I agree. SiteGround is one of the cheaper hosting companies with great value. Oh yeah, it's from WP Tonic. Yes, and Kinsta. Yes, yes, yes. SiteGround is great that first payment term, and it's going to be good when you renew, but you're not going to be happy when you renew because it's pretty darn expensive. Their renewal, they literally discount it 70%. So when you're paying $5.95 a month and you pay for that prepay that 1 or 2 years, that renewal is going to be pretty big. So you just got to be ready for it. But you can switch hosts or just pay it. It's still a good value at normal prices. Here's an interesting question. Are there any plugins that incorporate Excel spreadsheets? There are some to work on your website. If you're using Elementor or Beaver Builder and you use the add-on Ultimate Add-ons for Elementor or Ultimate Add-ons for Beaver Builder, they have a table module that allows you to upload a CSV to create a table. It's really cool. It'd be nice if someone made that as a Gutenberg block. Okay. This is like the forever question, right? Astra or Ocean WP or Generate Press. Actually, a fourth one should be added, the WP Page Builder Framework. They're all really good. They're all really good. You can't really go wrong with any of these. Let's see. Oh, here, just this is info. In the beginning of the video, I said regarding next week, Monday, how to make a funnel website. Tuesday, how to add drop shipping to it. Wednesday, how to add a membership to it. Friday, management system. I have a whole list of them. They're going to come out day by day next week. I'm pretty excited about it. All right. WP Forms is just a form plugin for sure. I'm missing the conversation on that. It's really good. It's not one where it loads things on every single page, the WP Forms. Let's see here. All right. Okay, yeah, here's an interesting question. How many plugins do you suggest for a website for good performance? It's almost like it sucks, right? That you have to add multiple plugins to get the best performance. Obviously, you could just go with like WP Engine, but you still might even want to get better performance than WP Engine will give you, even though they do the caching, or Kinsta, they do all the caching for you. If you have a host that's doing caching for you, just get something like Perf Matters, or there's several free plugins that can kind of replicate what Perf Matters does. For me, it's a caching plugin, a performance plugin, but I'm using paid ones. I can replicate the features from the paid ones with multiple free ones. So for me, those two, and you need a plugin to compress your images unless you want to do that before. All these plugins do is really make some things easier for you. That you could do on your own without a plugin, but it just adds that convenience factor. It's all kind of a trade-off. Okay. Just Gone Gaming. What site do you recommend for web hosting? Visit WPCrafter.com/hosting. I've got all my recommendations right there. And you can always message me and ask me any specific questions. I'll answer this right here. Adam, what are the main differences, disadvantages, and disadvantages between InMotion and SiteGround? SiteGround has more prompt support. That's number one. SiteGround costs a little bit more, and it's going to have a heftier renewal. Now, what SiteGround does that's different from the others in the categories, they kind of limit you. It's not a bad thing. So when I say limit, don't see that as a negative. They limit how much traffic ultimately you can get to your websites in total on that plan in a month. And if you go over it, they're going to sure as heck let you know. There's pros and cons. The pros are all the website abusers, you know what I mean? They want to have the cheapest hosting and they have massive websites. They're not going to be able to really use SiteGround, or they're going to have to pay more, or they're going to have to move. That helps you because you're sharing a server with them. And if someone's kind of using up all of the resources, they have these systems in check to prevent that from happening, which benefits you. The way it doesn't benefit you is if you do get a decent amount of traffic. So their limits are kind of low, if I'm to be honest. So you have 3 plans. The middle plan, I think, is like 20,000. They say it's suitable for 20,000 visitors per month, or page views. It's visitors. Now, they really kind of double it. They tell you the 25, but it kind of comes out to 50. But you can easily get 50,000 visitors on your website. If you have 3 websites, you figure half that traffic is bots. You know, Google sending their bot to your website, and there's all sorts of scrapers and bots that are visiting your website. You can eat up all those resources pretty quick. So other shared hostings you might need to put more effort into caching and optimization plugins to get good performance, or the performance that you want. I am using Cloudways right now. I made a whole video on that. It's a little bit more technical. I will say that SiteGround, you just can't get away from the fact that SiteGround has really good support. They have really good support. So, and they have some really interesting features that they're adding. So they made staging available in their middle plan right now, where they didn't have it on that middle plan before. They moved it there, and now you get priority support on their highest plan. So, however, you've got companies like InMotion and A2 Hosting. They also have managed WordPress hosting plans that you're going to actually get better performance than SiteGround. So it's kind of muddied waters. It's a little complicated. I have it all explained on my website, WPCrafter.com/hosting, or you go to my website and click on hosting. I have it explained out so it kind of makes sense. Let's see. Sorry if I'm skipping your question. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm trying to, I skipped a bunch of questions to try to wrap this up. So I don't keep everyone here on, let's see, it's already going on 52 minutes. Keep everybody on Good Friday. Let's see. So I'm not doing it on purpose, and I'm sorry about that. That doesn't mean, actually, when this video is done, you can add it as a normal comment, and then I'll answer it there, or you can always email me a question. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. You know, when you're starting with WordPress, it's easy to get paralysis by analysis or something like that. You're going to be good. You're searching for a theme. You're going to be good with the way that I like to build websites that I think makes the most sense. Most of it's done in your page builder. You have a theme. Just use Astra, Ocean WP, GeneratePress, or WP Page Builder Framework. And the free versions of Astra and Ocean WP are really good. The other ones, you'd want to use the paid one. Okay. I think I'm going to be wrapping this up. Yep, a lot of folks are saying SiteGround hands down, and I have to agree with you. Facebook link again to find me on Facebook, facebook.com/WPCrafter. There's a community tab. That's the Facebook page. There's a community tab in there as well. That will take you to the Facebook group, and you can just request to be added, and I will add it. It will ask you a question. If you answer that, I will give you priority in approving you joining. It's a great group. Actually, here, let me get a quick sip here. If anyone that's still on here asked a question and I didn't answer it, repost that question right now, and I'll probably answer it. Oh, I like this. I like this question. Comment. Adam, thank you for being a good guy. You've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from you. I like to think I'm very authentic and real. I mean, I push go live and you get me, and this is actually who I am in person. I'm going to be I've been at a few events this year meeting folks. I'll be at an event not this weekend, but next weekend in Orange County, California. It's WordCamp OC. I've gone the last 2 years. I'll be there this year as well. If anybody on this live stream is going to be there or watching the replay that's going to be there, come up and say hi to me. Very approachable guy. The same guy that's on this video is who I am in real life. So, actually, let's try to... but thank you for saying that. Okay, can you talk about what type of coding someone who uses Elementor or other page builders needs to know? When is it important? This is actually a fantastic question. So I use page builders because I am not interested in hand coding everything. And I can't hand code. I have no desire to learn how to hand code. If you know how to hand code, more power to you. Great job. I don't have any interest. So I want a page building tool that's going to get me the most capabilities. And Elementor has been that for me. Any page builder or anything you do on your website, it's good to start learning just the tiniest bit of CSS to make those little changes that they're not giving you an option to do. So I know how to use a little bit of CSS here and there. Actually, I know how to write up some CSS. Let's just put it that way. You can't get away from knowing a little bit of CSS to get it exactly how you want it. If you're particular like me and you're like, I want it to be this way, there's no option to do it, you have to learn a little bit of CSS to do it, or know where to ask, or something along those lines. There are tools that make it easier, like Microthemer. It's a tool for generating custom CSS to change little things. It's a really good tool. I would recommend that. I don't use those tools personally, even though if I did, maybe some things would be easier in my life. But you can't get away from knowing a little bit of CSS. It's very good to know. It's very good to know when some positioning is off. Okay, let's see. Okay, another one. This is funny. I told you I skipped a bunch of questions, and he's saying, at least you're answering the question about skipping the questions. Yeah, I'm not doing anything intentional. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, this is a great one. Where's the dog? Oh man, I should pull my dog in here. I got a dog last year. He's still a puppy, and we just got him a haircut yesterday, and it looks adorable. We took kind of most of his hair off. It's hair, not fur, because he's a poodle. I posted pictures of my dog in the WP Crafter Facebook group yesterday because his new haircut was so cute. So if you go in the WP Crafter Facebook group, you'll see pictures of the dog. He's adorable, but I got to get him in video a little bit more. But it's so much fun having a dog. I love it. I love it. All he does is want to play, and we play and have a good time. Let's see. Oh, this is a great question. Will I create more videos on creating dynamic content websites? Yes, I should do that. There's another YouTube channel that's been covering that kind of topics a lot, and he's doing a really good job, but I'll definitely do more as well. Okay. You know what, guys? I'm going to wrap this up. Let's see. Best way to grow. Is there a plugin? Okay. I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I'm sorry if I missed your question. I think I want to do more lives like this, and I want to answer everybody's question. If you ask me a question, I just naturally want to answer it. So if I skipped your question, I really sincerely apologize. Nothing personal by that. Here, let me show you actually. I'll show you my live streaming software right here. I've got 11 pages of questions, and they're coming in sometimes faster than I can answer. But I want to answer everybody's question. If I missed your question, join the WP Crafter Facebook group. Ask the question in there. We can have a conversation around it. Facebook.com/groups/WP Crafter should take you right there. Ask to join the group, and I will approve you. Sometimes I get it a couple days behind, and you can ask a question in there. I'm in there all the time. You can see a lot of the behind the scenes that are going on with WP Crafter. I throw out a lot of ideas in there. There was a big question the other day about cart abandonment. There's a lot of great conversations going in there, so I'd like to see you over in there. It's a great, quick, and easy way to, and I'm even behind on YouTube questions and comments. I do my best, but that's a great place to ask any kind of question there. So I'm going to wrap this up. You have an awesome weekend. It's Easter weekend. Remember, Monday, going to be having a video on how to create a funnel website. Tuesday, we're talking about drop shipping. Wednesday, we're going to be talking about membership, adding membership to your website. Thursday will probably be courses. Friday will be adding an affiliate program to your website. I might mix some of those up a little bit, but that's going to be content Monday to Friday about these things, and any of those other unique things you want to add, you can ask me and I'm going to be making a video on it, and we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a great week next week. Guys, have a fantastic weekend with your families, your businesses, whatever you end up doing. And I will see you guys on Monday or in the Facebook group. Have a great weekend.